Does your life seem like a random string of events? What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Quick Sits podcast. And today it marks the day that we start Splinter Cell Double Agent on the Unicorn Werewolf stream. And I just got done with Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. And it got me to thinking the other day about what chaos theory actually is. And in times like these, everything seems totally chaotic with, putting 2020 to a close, and 2021 might be 2020 on steroids, or at least its ugly cousin, where we don't know just yet. But it would be easy to think in times like this that everything's just random and chaotic and there's nothing that you can do about it. But you look at chaos theory itself and what it is and what it means, and things start to make a little bit of sense. So what is chaos theory? Well, in layman's terms, it means while you might be in the moment, things might seem random and chaotic. When you're right there, it just seems like things are running together. It doesn't make much sense. But if you step back and you look at things, you look at life, you look at your health, you look at your finances, you look at your relationships from a distance over time, you start to see that there are patterns. And those patterns are ordered, and they're constantly repeating themselves over and over again. Right before I hopped on the podcast, my wife was listening to the soundtrack from Eurovision, and it was that mesh up, that song along where they were singing Waterloo by ABBA, and there's a line in there that says the history book on the shelf is always repeating itself. And that's absolutely true. And people, I say people in general, people make up governments. So you can throw that in there. I'm not pointing fingers anywhere when I say this, but people suppress history for some reason over and over again, and that dooms society to repeat mistakes over and over again. History, there's another video game saying from Captain Price in Modern Warfare that says history is written by the victors, which is absolutely true, and history is full of liars. So, and because people lie. Not pointing the finger at any person, faction, government, party, or anything here. I'm trying to keep this non-political. So what does it mean, and what does it mean for you, and what can you do about it? Because, like I said, you might feel like your life is complex, but deep down inside, it's very simple. I mean, just look no further than what's been going on over the past day or so. I mean, there was a global pandemic, and before that there was World War III, and before that Australia was on fire and the world was burning, and then now people are worried about stocks again. I mean, does this all not sort of fall into a pattern that we've seen before? It just happens to be a GameStop stocks, and I have no idea what's going on. I really don't, and I have no control over it either, and it's amusing to me. I wouldn't say it's funny. It's amusing. It's worrying to see all of a sudden everybody's an expert on stocks coming out, and I don't get it. So I've been, over the past 5 years, I've really tried to nail this down and track it in my own life and identify patterns. And it's always either felt like I've been navigating a complex maze of being a teacher, a coach, a husband, a business owner, a writer, a fighter, a gamer, a poet, and didn't know it. Or, and the hardest part of it all has been staying true to myself in that process. And oftentimes I get lost on the path, and I find myself either getting nothing accomplished, being unmotivated, depressed, and scared about everything. And other times I'd be working myself to the bone, angry and bitter about not getting the results that I wanted in my life. And it wasn't until I braced this that I'm talking about, the chaos theory, if you will, it all starts to make sense. It wasn't until I started following a code that the chaos began to make sense and fall in order, and the patterns began to be identified. So, like I said, all this stuff that we were talking about, what's up, Lemon Fots? Lemon Fots will get a shout out in the Quick Sits podcast that we're recording right now. Lemon Bots is a regular and a super fan here at the Unicorn Werewolf Twitch channel. Drop a follow over there. It's twitch.tv/Unicorn Werewolf for those who will be listening on the podcast on here. But the code that I was living by and talking about here is, number one, take care of yourself physically. All this other stuff I've been talking about you can't control. You can take care of that. Managing your own biology, whether that means upgrading your nutrition, moving, stretching, resting, training, having fun, playing, doing something that lights you up. I mean, for me, it's mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I know that not everybody's idea of fun is getting punched in the face or choked, but happens to be mine. I love it. It's a complex game, and I love it. It's what keeps me healthy. Second, it's provide value to others. Personally, I have a ton of ways I can provide value, and although it seems chaotic and there's times where I'm like, I don't know what I am or what I do really, sometimes it's just I just inspire people. So it's like I've been talking out loud over the stream the past few weeks as I've been playing through Splinter Cell, is just get out there and talk. Just talk out loud, because a lot of people are like physical tinkerers, like they work on engines and stuff. I'm a thought tinkerer, and if I don't say it out loud, it never gets said, and I end up just playing in my sandbox in my mind, and it never gets out there. So if it's just providing value through speech or writing or training or coaching or being a friend or being somebody to look for advice, that's it. And then number 3 is master communication. I kind of grew up in a family where, like, my dad talks in codes. Like, he literally has his own language. Family members don't understand what he's talking about, and it kind of takes me to interpret him sometimes. Other times I feel like other family members just don't know how to express themselves either, so I kind of grew up in a situation where I just had to intuitively pick it out, and I lived a large part of my life like that too, and I thought that eventually everybody just puts pieces together and get it. It's like, no, it doesn't happen that way. So another reason for the stream is me practicing that. I get on there, I try to have clear communication, I tell you about cool stuff that's going on, cool things I'm working on, and I listen for your feedback on what I can bring to you and provide even more value. So with that being said, just tying it up, we all experience life, and life is chaos. It is a random string of chaotic events. But if you look at it from a distance and you really embrace chaos theory, you'll understand that it all is a part of this overarching order of things. There's patterns that you and I both can identify, and we can capitalize on. It's like finding a way to beat a boss in a video game, finding that exploit, and then hitting it over and over again until you win. So with that is the end of the Quick Sits podcast. If you come to the stream, you can type in !guide, and it'll take you to, or it'll give you the link for the channel guide, or you can go to gearedupinsider.com/channel-guide. You can get on the email list and never miss another stream, never miss a way that I can provide value to you. So with that, thank you, and Quick Sits out.